So here we are in Denver, Colorado at Cafe Zurich. It is run by a half Swiss pair, and they've got actually some Swiss treats like quiche and different pastries. And here with me are members of the Swiss American Friendship Society here in Denver, and the club is celebrating its 50th year. And a number of the members have agreed to come and join and talk about politics back in Switzerland. Maybe you could tell me, why is it so important to you to participate in Swiss politics by exercising your right to vote?
Well, I'm not voting. I'm helping my son vote because he just became well, he's been a Swiss citizen since birth, but he turned 18 a few years ago, and that's when it triggered all the paperwork and all of the possibility to vote. So I help him with his ballots, but I don't vote in Switzerland.
So you're informed, but not voting yourself.
I'm informed, yes.
Okay.
And
what?
I'm sorry?
I was going to say, and why don't you vote? He's younger and has less experience of the nation. Why does he vote and not you?
I felt it was important when I decided to make my life here to kind of make a decision. Sort of, I live here, and therefore I'm more focused here.
Well, I don't think that, I wouldn't say they would have to vote. That's really a personal reason. But I think if you're interested in Switzerland to continue to stay as it has been, as you've known it when you were living there, in my opinion, I would want to have a voice, because I don't want it to go to become a country that doesn't have autonomy anymore. This is my fear.
Other thoughts on why it's important to you, at least, to fill out the ballot papers?
I think our point of view, being living in two countries, is very interesting. Living in Switzerland, you just listen to a certain amount of news from certain journalists, and being abroad and going back every 6 months or every year or so, you see changes, and you become, I think, more conservative. At least that's what's happening to me, and I just have such a love towards Switzerland. It's such a great country. It's run so well that I really wanted to continue, at least as much as possible, the way it has been done for many years, and successfully so. So comparing both countries, the more you see changes, the more you think if the country is running well, you want to be informed, you want to be part of that, of the history of this country, and make sure it's transitioning properly to the next generation. So we have, I think, a very interesting point of view living in America. It's a rough country, it's a great country, we love it. I think everybody likes it here. And over there, it's just been so calm and organized and well, and I think we need to maybe talk to people more and bring in our opinion. And my opinion is very clear. I'm definitely conservative. I don't want things to change as much as others who would like to like the way it's run. Sovereignty, obviously, is a very important point. That it's not very glamorous to say sovereign or conservative right now. It's not fashionable. And correctness is very difficult to talk about and talk against. So I think our opinion is very rich, living in two countries. And the information, thanks to the websites out there, I think information is very good. We can keep connected. Honestly. As far as voting, it's not that easy to get the papers on time.
Well, as soon as I started with the e-vote, I did the e-vote. So, yeah. And I think it's important for me, because I still have family over there. I have my parents, my brothers, my nephews, and who knows, I may choose to go and, end my life over there. And I like to be conservative too. I think it's important. It's a great little country. Let's not change it too much.
It seems most here feel things are good as they are, or shouldn't change too much. But in the upcoming elections in Parliament, have you got any thoughts on what maybe should change yet? Whether it needs to be more conservative or less conservative, or it's more centrist? What are you thinking in terms of...
I like what you said about Switzerland being well run. Well, if it's belonging to the EU, it doesn't matter if it's well run because it's not going to be run by them. It's going to be run by Brussels. So, therefore, why change?
Well, we've been part of Europe for thousands of years, and even the last 100 years have been okay. Countries have been growing into being a certain country. Now we just think it's so glamorous to think we're all citizens of the world. Of course we are, but differences are good. We should not forget about them or we believe that they don't exist. We have to manage differences. And that's the popular thing now is to say that, hey, bridges more than walls, all that stuff. If I have to take a saying back from America to Switzerland, it would be this one. It's like, good fences make good neighbors. And it doesn't mean that the fences don't have a door or a doorbell. I really think that people have to accept the differences. And if you go somewhere, you have to be respectful of the person.
On the other side of the coin, are there any advantages from the European relationship? What are some things that have been beneficial for Switzerland thanks to the relationship with the EU?
I think nothing. Nothing has been beneficial. It has been beneficial to Greece. It has been beneficial to Spain and to the poor countries because they then are being, it's like socialism. They are, the northern countries that are productive are supporting the southern countries that are not productive. Let's face it, I mean, that's the truth.
I think also one thing that's very hard in Europe, thanks to the media also, is the correctness out there. It's very difficult to talk
PC,
against.
the political correctness.
Exactly. PC is very, very difficult to talk about and against it and say differently. You get shunned and you always
Same
defend
here.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's starting here too.
Yeah.
So the conversation is not good right now. I think in the world, modern world, the Western world, where conservatives are the mean, selfish, privileged, and the rest of the world is a victim of us. We're somebody who's been doing well. And so there's, like you said, socialism is going on in Europe. It's been great for some aspects of our societies. But when the guilt factor kicks in automatically because you're doing well, even though you didn't steal any money from anybody, because you worked hard, you were serious, like the Swiss, the system is well run. We don't really owe much to the rest of the world because they have less than us. We're more than generous. We're probably one of the most generous countries in the world. And this guilt factor, the PC, is really skewing the conversation bad. And then, of course, we have the extremes that grow. And I blame the media for that because the media has this power to say what is right and what is not right, how we should think when it comes to emotional decisions.
I think as of right now, Switzerland has sort of the best of both worlds. It's neutral, it's independent, and with Schengen, it has opportunities throughout Europe. I mean, anybody who has a Swiss passport can travel into any country in
And
Europe.
vice versa.
And vice versa. So I really think with Schengen, Switzerland has that gateway to Europe, and it doesn't need to join the EU to gain more. I agree. I think Switzerland, the way it stands today, I think is very, very positive, and I think it exemplifies a lot of what the rest of the world wants to strive. You know, it's always in the list of the best countries in the world, and it's one of the safest countries in the world, and don't change too much. You know, leave it. You know, it needs to stay, because I think that's what we all love about Switzerland is that independence, that neutrality. You just don't have it in hardly any other country in the world.
I'm thinking of your question. What do you think of what the parliamentarians are, how they're dealing with the EU? And I think they're like afraid, really. I don't think they have a backbone. That's kind of my opinion, you know. Just they're afraid maybe of what the media might say about them. Maybe they're going to label them as being racist even, you know, or they don't want to stand up really for what they have, or maybe they've forgotten it, what neutrality really means, you know, and autonomy and being able to make your own decisions, and the people. I mean, the democracy of Switzerland is incredible, really, when you think about what the say is compared to, even though we're the same similar democracy here, a federation, but you get to vote on pretty much everything in Switzerland.
It's called direct democracy.
Direct democracy, you know.
That will be lost, right?
Yeah,
That's-
totally. Yeah.
It's so unique, it's so, real and positive.
And who wants
That'll be
war?
lost.
Isn't that what everybody, even the liberals, would like peace, right? And how can you have peace if you're not neutral and you're going to tell other countries how they, or other countries tell you how to behave? Well, that's what's going to happen if we go to the EU.
I think you haven't had a chance yet to talk about the EU.
Well, not only the EU, but about globalization. I think there are things that we should strive to globalize. For instance, the research in medicine. If somebody gets a cure for cancer in Russia, why not share it with the world? But when I go to Switzerland, I think Switzerland is also very unique because we have 4 languages and very different communities. You go to Valais and you have all the little cute wooden chalets. You cross over to Ticino, and the houses are made with stones, and different parts. And I love that in Switzerland. I don't go to Bern to drink coffee at Starbucks or to eat at McDonald's. Let's keep some of what we have, a diversity. I go to Valais to have a raclette, and in Bern you have a Bernese dish. And when I travel around the world, I don't want to see a globalization of everything. I want to keep the culture, and we get along, whether we speak French, German, or Italian or Romansh. And I think it's pretty unique for such a little country.
What is something that you think maybe works better here or works better in Switzerland in terms of direct democracy or quality of life for citizens?
Well, quality of life, of course, here you're much more open. You're not so scrutinized by society, and there's more freedom here, even to do business and all that. Versus Switzerland, where things are just a little more regulated. But again, it works for Switzerland in the way it's operating now, and it works for us here because it's a much bigger country and everything is wide open. People are wide open as well.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've had children here, and to compare to my nephews in Switzerland, once they're done with school, they go to college or apprenticeship. That's missing here. A lot of the children, if the parents don't have the money to pay for college, they just, start something, do this, do that. I don't think there is as many opportunities here for young people who don't go to college. It's coming back, apprenticeship. And then on the other hand, in Switzerland, if you cannot just open a garage, for instance. You have to go to school and get all the degrees. Here you can start working in your own garage, a neighbor come, and then eventually you buy something, which you don't have that available in Switzerland. So there's pros and cons in both countries.
Definitely a country of lots of opportunity.
Yeah.
The U.S.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's much more regulated in Switzerland,
Right.
and there is, again, pros and cons. And I like the wide open space here. It's Switzerland, everything is compact. A little jewel here is just much bigger. You can drive for hours without seeing a house.
That's one of the reasons that I'm wanting to go back, because
Yeah.
you waste so much time driving and not seeing much.
No, yeah. I was
So
thinking
there's
about just
both sides,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
You can,
But I like to travel, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's so different. You land in Zurich and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like a tiny.
To me, it's a little jewel. It's
Yeah,
just beautiful.
but then when you get older and you maybe don't have a car,
Yeah.
you can just travel by a wonderful, best in the world probably, public system.
Public system is great. Yeah.
Walk, to get your groceries.
You can walk, yeah.
You can bike. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty great actually. So.
But I think older people are better taken care of in Switzerland than here.
Yeah, for older people, it's easier to live. Yeah, because like you said, everything is close around the corner. The
Yeah.
bakery is around the
Yeah.
corner. Everything is around the corner. And then if you want to travel, you don't need a car. You have your SBB, go everywhere.
What do you think?
I think living in Colorado, we sort of have the best of both worlds. When I compare Colorado to Switzerland, there are some similarities in terms of the mountains and all of that. I think if we lived in a different part of America, sort of maybe more the Midwest or the South, I think the differences would be much more stark than they are here. I really think everybody who lives here, they all love the outdoors, love what it represents, and I think there are quite a few similarities. I don't find the differences as big as they were maybe 25 years ago. I think Switzerland is changing as well. Not just with the upcoming election, but just it's moving ahead with the times. People are changing too. I think there's a global change in the world. Wherever you go, you can't go back to Switzerland and say, oh, this is what I remember, because everything has changed there too.
So I think that's the bell for this discussion, and I'd like to thank you all for joining.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure
Thank you for
meeting
coming
so many of
to
you
go.
here in Denver. Yeah, great. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening.
Thanks for stopping over.
Make you feel
Oh yeah, that's my. No.